discussion, the assistant goes, well, we can maybe address this in a year because this isn't really a good time to bring this up.
Yeah.
Too much like rides on the police at this moment.
Force. And he goes, we have priorities. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So Serpico walks out of the office.
Which I'm wondering too, do you think that the mayor and the mayor's staff are getting kickbacks too from the police? Because if they had more priorities and other stuff was riding on top of that, you know what I mean? It's just interesting that you wouldn't want to take down someone who is getting ahead in life in the wrong way, you know? Like, why would you just help them? Why would you let them continue to do the corruption and continue to, like, wrong all these individuals if you're not getting any benefit out of it?
If you're the mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know?
I wonder if they were getting stuff out of it.
It's possible.
Because, I mean, also it could be that the mayor was just allowing it, and if he confronted it, it would make his whole
it would look bad because it'd be like, oh, during your term there was police corruption, even though he was the guy to bring it up. And kind of a random point, but you know the Spanish flu?
Yes.
The Spanish flu wasn't called the Spanish flu because it started in Spain.
I've heard this before. Yeah,
it was called the Spanish flu because Spain was the first country to bring it to light and make it an issue. Like, oh yeah, we got a big pandemic or a pandemic going around.
Right.
And so it would have been kind of similar where, you know, the mayor wouldn't get credit for exposing this. He'd be like, oh, the mayor caused this corruption or some shit like that.
You let it go on for so many like months or years.
Yeah, and obviously they get denied, and that's like very
hurting to the morale.
Yeah, because we're all
to the morale. Yeah.
Serpico's like life is on the line.
Right.
Because they threaten him many times. They say
even before that, right?
Yeah, I mean the entire movie they're threatening him a little bit, and they're just saying to him like, "Oh yeah, you know, we don't have to kill you." Or someone's I forget who says it. Yeah, you.
I mean, I was just really. I don't want to say shocked because like can't be shocked, but it was just sad to see that like so much like cops who are supposed to be like in this together with
the protectors.
I mean, I guess they're protecting the. They were protecting the toxic culture.
Right.
That was like, you know, all this corruption and stuff. And telling Serpico, like, oh, even the good cops that were trying to help him were like, but yeah, like, other cops, they won't have your back because of this. Like, they might shoot you. They might let you get shot.
Right.
Like, they're gonna avoid their actual duties that they're supposed to be doing to the community and their own, like, coworkers.
Which is absurd too, just to bring up the point of this was a true story, and it just shows and highlights how corruption can literally skew the way that you even look at a human being's life. But they're willing to let Serpico die or get shot, killed in action, just to continue
save their ass.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Their shady operations,
right?
And like you were saying, they were like spending all this time working on this corruption thing, you know, the scandal. Serpico, I think he was venting to his girlfriend, the second blonde girl,
which is Lori, I believe.
Lori,
yeah, his neighbor.
Yeah, Lori.
Yeah, can I just make I love the way they introduce her character. Smooth. He's just listening to Italian opera, drinking coffee, and he's like, "Come on over, have a cup." I love that. That was such a great scene.
And she goes, "I like your garden." And he says, "You love my garden." He's like, "What?" He's like, "You love it." You know what they say? You love a man's garden, you have to love the man.
It's true.
What a line.
That's awesome. Yeah, he had the moves.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, so yeah, when he was venting to that girl, and he was saying, you know, if the police put the amount of effort they're putting into fighting crime as they do for the scandal, there'd be no crime in New York. So what they're doing is double bad. It's bad that they're, you know, obviously scamming the people.
Yep.
And being like literally the mafia. And also it's really bad because they're not doing their job.
Yeah, they're taking away from their own duties.
Yeah, and New York needs police officers in the 70s. And that's like peak mob.
Yeah.
So, Goodfellas takes
Go
place.
watch Fear City.
Yeah.
The documentary.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of crazy too when you bring up that point, and they didn't really show any of the mob's influence on the Times because this was just focused around the corruption within the police department in New York City. But the fact that these everyday citizens not only had to fear their life because of the mob that was running the entire city of New York, state of New York, but also they had to fear their own police department that was supposedly there to stop the mob and stop the corruption. So you're getting hit on both fronts as like a citizen. You got nothing backing you. That must have been a horrible time to live in New York City, or just in New York.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's crazy.
Those were the days.
Way back when.
Their only hope was outside agencies. And that's why throughout the movie, everyone in the police force who was involved in the corruption said, do not go to outside agencies, whatever you do. And yeah, without outside agencies, the police are kind of running their own, like, it's like not authoritarian, but they just run it's just a mafia run city at that point.
Right.
It's a crime run city. And obviously you have the outside like the CIA, not CIA, the FBI and other, I don't even know who would be involved in that, but
really interesting side note. So I just looked this up just because I was like I've heard of like vigilante groups and like community groups that start, because there isn't protection that's being provided by law enforcement, or they're just feeling overwhelmed by the crime that's going on in their community. And I don't know if you guys know about the Guardian Angels, but it was a vigilante group that was started in 1979 in New York City. And I wonder if that's because of the corruption on both ends.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
The people had to just take it upon themselves to kind of.
Yeah. So in this movie, I just said that, they have the outside forces.
Yeah, yeah.
And they have the vigilante group. Mm-hmm. But, I think, I was watching a thing about Serpico, a Serpico interview, and a brief thing. It was like a couple of minutes, but he was saying that this movie has like bigger themes to it his whole story. Okay. And he's like, what he's worried about now is, back then the corruption was in the police force, but there's obviously bigger powers in the police force.
Right.
Of course.
There's the bigger, state government, and you have like the federal government and all that stuff.
Is it be like even like state police he was talking about?
Yeah.
Higher than city
there's
police?
Always higher stuff that you can kind of go to help.
The deep money.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Like there's other stuff. Like obviously the New York City Police Department has nothing compared to the FBI.
Right.
FBI just towers over.
Like
but now what
you're saying? Fund wise?
Just in power.
Or resources.
Just in
power. Yeah.
Like,
okay. Yeah.
If the FBI prioritized cleaning up New York, they would have been able to do that pretty easily.
Right.
But now what he's saying is that the issue now in politics now, or at least in the United States, the corruption's gone so high that there's no one to go to. That's what Serpico was worried about. And Serpico...
And he said that back in his interview?
Yeah, he was like saying that in like 2000, like a couple years ago. Honestly, he's still alive.
He's 85, I think.
The interview happened. It's like 80, but yeah, which is crazy.
Does he still live in Switzerland?
I'm not sure. I think
because it said at the end of the movie, Frank Serpico is somewhere living in Switzerland. Yeah. I was like, yes, that's the dream.
Not a bad place to move to. I feel like never been, but it seems like it's a beautiful place.
Yeah,
I will live in Switzerland for 1 year of my life.
Hell yeah! Yeah, you said that before. That's one of your places.
Yeah, I'm holding myself to that.
Hell yeah, dude!
But going off, just kind of in terms of the interview. So also, Serpico didn't really like the portrayal Al Pacino had in him.
In what way?
He said that Al Pacino was playing Al Pacino, not Serpico, and he says that Al Pacino is known for overacting.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that too. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see that.
I think...
Who acts like that in real life?
Apparently Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Al Pacino is such a great actor. And I've seen a lot of movies from him, and this I think was like one of the most surprising because he played a very dynamic character.
Right.
Very good at showing emotions.
No, I'm not saying his acting job is bad.
Yeah. It's a movie, though. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a normal person... I know Serpico wasn't a normal person, but you got to have some... He had to be an interesting character.
Was this one of his first movies he ever did?
This was after. I think this was after The Godfather. Well, Godfather came out in what?
So I think 70. No, it came out. Oh wait, yeah, sorry.
Look up when The Godfather came out.
I was looking up Scarface. Scarface came out in '83.
Yeah, that was way after. There's a lot of movies he had before Scarface.
Oh yeah, Godfather was 1972. Serpico 73. So just a year after.
So this is between Godfather Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Pacino only won one Oscar in his entire career.
What movie?
Scent of a Woman.
Okay.
Which is weird because, he had Godfather Part 1, Part 2. He had this movie, which was great.
Yeah.
I think it was
This movie's great. I could see it not winning Oscars though.
Yeah.
I feel like he has like a lot of cult classic movies. I mean,
Scarface is not a cult
No,
classic.
Scarface is a pop culture classic.
That is like one of the most famous movies of all time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
And Godfather.
Say hello to my little
It's like
friend.
regarded as the
Culture,
greatest movie.
yeah.
Say hello to my little friend.
Fair enough.
But it's funny. So you know he only got one Oscar like late in his career, pretty much. Leo DiCaprio got only one Oscar.
The Revenant.
Yeah, The Revenant, which is like honestly not even his best movie. Like I haven't seen that, but like he's been like way.
It was really long, to be honest.
I haven't seen it either.
Is that like about surviving bears and stuff?
I watched it a while back.
It's about a guy who survived a bear attack.
We have to watch
True
that.
story.
I feel like that'd be a fun.
It's a true
podcast.
story.
I'm down. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's like also like not early civilization, but like the early
like 17
yeah.
or 1800s.
The early people.
Early people, like
there was the Roman Empire,
like 200 years ago.
That's early people.
Early peoples. Back when God created the earth.
They had guns.
Yeah,
but not
it was
good
like
ones.
the
No, but
pioneer
guns
era.
grew on trees, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, since the dawn of time.
Yeah, I think so. Guns have always been around. Look it up.
Dinosaurs
Hey
used
Jamie,
guns.
look up when guns were made. But yeah, and so Leo only won one Oscar, and also like late in his career though. And I think the way the Academy works.
Yeah, like Titanic's probly better than The Revenant.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
No, well, I think I got nominated for Gilbert Graves. Maybe I could be guessing.
I love that movie.
We should add that to the list. But what I'm saying is like in Hollywood, you gotta like put your time in,
Yeah.
which is like really stupid. That's why I don't think Oscars matter at all. Because like if Al Pacino didn't win that Oscar for Sense of a Woman, I would not like see him in any bad way for not winning an Oscar because like it's a stupid thing.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just an award to solidify
Exactly.
feelings that people already have about actors.
I'd like
and
to thank
actresses.
the Academy.
I'd like to thank the Academy, my family.
But when we win an Oscar,
Fans.
it's good. We're gonna say,
Well, it's
"Oh,
because
this
we're the
is
best ever.
validation. This is
Yeah.
validation."
No. When we win the Oscar, I always think about this. We're gonna like say it's the stupidest fucking thing ever, and we're gonna like, and that's the biggest risk you can make in your career. That's where you become. What did Bob Dylan reject? And obviously not an Oscar.
Nobel
Bob
Peace
Dylan won a
Prize.
Nobel Peace Prize.
He rejected that,
and he didn't reject it, but he didn't show up to receive the award.
Okay, probably didn't think he deserved it. Probably.
Maybe, probably.
But-
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope. I don't know.
I think Drake shat on the Grammys a little bit. When
Good.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do when we have a movie.
Hold up 1 second, because I was just curious, and this is crazy. I want to find out who this person is. Okay.
All right, while we're waiting,
Well, I got it real quick.
okay.
I don't know if you guys know the actress Tatum O'Neal,
No.
but she apparently won an Oscar at 10 years old, the youngest person to ever win an Oscar.
It's crazy. What movie?
All right, now you guys can go on to a further thought while I look that one up.
Anyway, while we're waiting, this podcast is brought to you by Manscrape. Scrape your genitals with the code word cinema to get 10% off your pubic hair.
To 10% off your scraping needs.
You're scraping needs.
So, back to the movie.
Oh, real quick, just going back to the reefer scene. Blair is so funny. Like he reminded me of Jack. Honestly, he's like, "Hey,
Shout out Jack.
hey, this is some good shit." and then he's at the train station. He's like, "A potato factory." And then he starts like putting quarters in. He's like, "Come out, potatoes."
Yeah, and yeah, and I've seen that same scene though, a little part of the movie. Blair gets called for detective work. I think that's the whole goal of Serpico, right? To get detective work.
Yeah, he wanted to become a detective.
He wanted the gold shield.
And Blair got the detective job, and he was saying that, "Oh, I know a guy who's gonna get me this position."
Yeah,
And
he
he
had
was
the
making pissed. Like, "Oh, this
connections.
is bullshit. This is unfair." And he goes, "Hey, I know politics. You know the street better, but no, he goes, you know the street better. I know politics." Another thing, I don't know if that's corrupt, but it kind of shows that I don't know. The police force just kind of, I don't know.
That's everywhere. If you have the connections, you can
I mean, they say in
weasel
every
your way
field,
up high.
connections are what gets you positions anywhere.
Honestly, like if we ever blow this podcast up, we're probably gonna be because of connections. Because we know some famous actors.
I mean, we're good friends with Leo DiCaprio. That's
Yeah,
why
that's why we brought him
his
up.
name.
Yeah,
That's
why we're doing the Pacino movie right
Al
now.
Pacino has been on plenty of these episodes.
And you guys listen to Graduating. We was with Dustin Hoffman, so he was with us. So you should definitely check that out.
Also, that movie that she won Best Supporting Actress for is Paper Moon.
Oh, is that a cartoon?
No, it's a black and white film, though.
Oh. I actually know someone who's related to Elizabeth Banks.
Okay.
Who's that?
She plays Effie Trinket in The Hunger Games. She's one of the. This is a poor example. She's one of the announcers in Pitch Perfect.
Interesting.
She has a lot of movies. She's a good actor.
About knowing people. So there's this girl. I'm not gonna say her name, but she claimed to know. She'd be like related to Frankie Valli.
Oh yeah.
I don't really buy it.